Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to review American Horror Story Season 10, Episode 2, Pale. Now, obviously, Harry, he took the pill. He took that black pill. They don't have a name for it yet, and he immediately just is writing, and it's like he's had a breakthrough with his writer's block, and he turns into a jackass. And at one point, he yells at his daughter and tells her you can't even play a fucking violin song. It's really funny. It's like a total Shining moment. Oh shit. Well, I'll just say spoilers. I am going to spoil this episode. It's hard to do TV episode reviews without spoiling things, honestly. Here's a little non-spoiler review. I guess I'll just start doing that from now on. So, just get used to that format. This episode was pretty damn good. It was a lot better than the first episode because more stuff happened. There was less setting up and more explaining. Basically, you get a look behind the curtain in this episode, whereas the first episode was a lot more mysterious. This episode sort of brings everything to light. And for that, I give this episode an A. I could have given it an A minus, but it was just solid. It was a solid television episode. It was a solid horror episode. It was entertaining. It was fun. These are great characters. It's a great cast. It's just, what's there not to love? Oh, well, we'll talk about that. Because there's one thing I don't like so far. Just one little thing. So, spoilers. He's a jackass now, and he gets a hankering for blood. He tries to eat this turkey sandwich, and he pukes it up. It's gross tasting to him. And I honestly, I was upset because that sandwich looked really good. It looked like there were some red onions in that bitch. It looked like there was like some tomato, maybe some lettuce, like a turkey. And the bread was that bread just looked really, I'd just like to grab that sandwich out of the TV screen like fucking Mike TV and Willy Wonka and just take a big bite out of it and eat that sandwich. They wasted that sandwich and threw it in the trash. That was the most upsetting moment in television history. They threw away that sandwich, that beautiful sandwich. How could you do that? That is more horrifying than anything that I've seen in this series thus far. That really upset me. So, anyways, he goes to the market and he gets some meat, and it has all this blood in it, obviously. And it's actually pretty funny because I've been working on my first movie, and that's what happens in my movie. A little bit like that. He gets blood at the supermarket. So it was pretty funny seeing that on screen. And coincidentally, I'm also reading the Goosebumps book, Vampire's Breath. And so it's really funny how all those things, like, they just come together, just everything is vampires right now for some reason. It's a fun time. I love vampires, and you can never get enough vampires, ever. Vampires are cool, they're scary, they're awesome. And so they're playing off the addiction aspect of them, though, because they have this amazing horror scene where he gets all this meat and he puts it in a blender and he squeezes out all the blood and he drinks it. And it was such a great scene. It was so like, ugh. So it turns out that this pill makes you a vampire, which is really kind of fun. That's like the story that people want to have talent, and not talent, they want to have success, And so they take this pill, and who knows where the pill came from, if there's a cure, who knows. It was created by accident by some chemist. And it turns you into a vampire. You have to feed once a week if you feed enough. Basically, you have to kill a person, or you have to drink half of them. It's, they say at one point that that Louise and Austin, that they split a person, but then they're feeding with Harry too, so I guess they, it sort of varies each week. But a person a week, that's 52 people a year. That's a lot of killing. I don't really know if I don't really know if you could pull that off unless you were like a really, like a Jeffrey Epstein type of a person. I could see Jeffrey Epstein having done that, but I couldn't really see like all these people, like this town full of people okay, there you go. Take, like, let's say there's 50 vampires in this town, and they're all really successful people for some reason, wink wink, and they're all killing people each week. That's 52 times 50. That's a lot of fucking people per year. That is a lot. No way that would be. No way. No way. Even if they're nobodies, as they say, they like to kill people that no one would miss. We don't kill scientists, as if scientists are like superior beings or something, which that really, Scientists, doctors, and lawyers are not superior people. I'd just like to say that for the record. We need to stop putting these people on a pedestal over other people. Everyone is the same. Everyone is as valuable as everyone else. We are not, there's no such thing as like, I'm a superior person to you. You could say that, I guess, kind of like joking, like kind of like, I feel that I am superior to you, but there is no one that is superior to the next person. And so they're killing, quote unquote, people who wouldn't be missed. And it is true, that there's been a lot of serial killers in the past. And they would kill people like that, people who had a secret, and they would go off to a different city to feed on their secret, and then they would get effed up. Or homeless people, runaways. It's really sad. But these people, they like to kill, quote unquote, like, robbers and druggies, and so it's perfectly okay, of course, to them. And they're really sort of like, they're cool characters. I like Louise, obviously, because I really hope that's her name too, because that would be a really shitty thing to do, to like be constantly effing up her name. She's played by the actress who played the maid in the first season. And so it's really fun to see her again, because I really liked her. She was probably one of my favorite characters in season 1. And I really like, obviously, seeing Evan Peters. He's playing a little bit of a caricature, a little bit, but he's still sticking serious. And so they basically lay down the rules for him. And before we even get to that, let's talk about the one thing that I don't like. Ursula! Harry has an agent named Ursula, and he makes phone calls to her, and they show her she's in this empty, ugly ass office in Hollywood, and she talks to him, and she tells him, grab your balls and write, Harry. You need to do this, or else your career's gonna be in a dumpster fire, and you gotta start writing right now. And she is just so over the top, and so goofy, and so comical. And I was like, what are we watching here? Is this South Park, or is this American Horror Story? She completely took me out of the show. And not so much that it would ruin the episode, obviously, because I give it an A. But seeing her, she is like a comic. She is like a total satirical type of character, and I just really did not like that at all. You know, she really does not fit in, and they even make it look different. Like the California place, you know, it's got this like colorful, you know, sun filled room type of vibe to it, and she, I did not like her character. I did not like that. It completely took me out of the of what was going on, and so I really I think that that was probably the worst part of this episode, if anything. So let's get back to the main story. I just wanted to get that out there, that that was the worst part, was this comedic fun. And oh, they had this an even worse one at the end. This phone call where she's like, "Oh my God, Harry, Harry, have you been holding out on me? Oh, we're gonna get a Netflix deal. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix, he's gonna do it for free." And it was just, it was so stupid. It was so over the top and so just unbelievable. It did not work at all. And it was funny though, because Joaquin Phoenix, you know, he's weird. And so it's like it's really funny. He's gonna do it for free. I could believe that. That was pretty funny, but it didn't fit. You know, it felt like something in Californication or something like that. You know, it totally disjointed from the rest of the show. Which, you know, might be the case because it's just her all by herself in this office, and then you got the rest of the cast and they're in Provincetown, and so maybe it's just because it's different and she's separated from everyone else. I don't know. I didn't like that. So, basically what happens is Harry goes along with them to, Harry goes along with Louise and Austin to kill someone, and they feed together, and it's a pretty fun scene. Not very much blood, though. Not as much as you'd like, but we're going to probably get a lot better kills as the season goes on. You know, when it comes to vampires, the key is, too, the kills got to be good. You got to have lots of blood. You got to have a chomping sound. You got to have someone succulent who, you know, looks delicious. You know, the guy did not look delicious. He looked like a dumpster fire because he was like some sort of a crystal meth addict. And so they feed on people who wouldn't be missed, and so I guess that fits. And so he's got to keep doing this, or else he'll never be able to write again. And another thing is that all those creepy Nosferatu people in town, they're just people who took the pill who don't have any talent. And so I thought that this was some really cool stuff. This was very creative. It was very fun. It was very, you know, unique. And then his daughter ends up taking the pill. You know, she steals it out of his backpack or whatever, his little bag. And she takes one. And I was really excited because that's what I wanted to happen. Yeah! I know that makes me sound terrible, but, you know, story-wise, I wanted to see that. Yeah! Because, you know, who knows what's going to happen with her? Who knows what she's going to do? And, you know, Lily, I feel bad for her because she is just all alone. You got this family full of vampires, and it's just her, the only human. And, you know, is she going to take the pill? Probably, because the show likes to make it where, like, if you have one person in everyone in the family has got to do something weird. Everyone in the family has to go off the edge to make it an American Horror Story type of show. And, you know, we don't really get to see her. She's practicing for hours, and then her mom grounds her, and then I guess her dad lets her go out. And her mom finds her, and she's in the graveyard eating something, and she's sucking its blood. And so who knows what's going to happen. It's really crazy already, and we're only in episode 2, and I'm really excited to see what happens. And before we end, also something else that happened. If you're into these recap types of reviews, it's just I don't really know like how to discuss it without kind of recapping things. It's kind of easier to do it that way because you're sort of walking yourself through the episode. Uh, Macaulay Culkin and Mickey, and then the homeless girl, they're staying together, and he's giving her a place to stay, which is really nice. He's the nice hooker, he's the kind hooker, the hooker with the heart. And he's got all these unfinished screenplays, and they're in these little notebooks, and apparently she likes painting, and she has talent to paint. And so obviously both of them take a pill too, because he was at Louise's house getting his blood sucked for money, and he stole 2 pills conveniently, just 2 little pills. And so who knows what's going to happen with them. I am very excited to see what happens with that. Very excited. So in conclusion, I'm really liking this show so far. It's really good. It's not the best thing I've ever seen yet. You can't really say that when you only watch 2 episodes. A lot of fanboys do that type of stuff. They'll just claim every episode is a masterpiece and the show is like just untouchable. It's pretty good so far. It's pretty good. And there was this very creepy dentist scene where apparently all the vampires have to go to this tattoo parlor where there's a back room dentist office, and they all have to have their teeth sharpened, which is really, really, and they showed the sharpening, which was really, really hard to watch. And I think that was a Cape Fear reference because when Robert De Niro did Cape Fear, he actually had a dentist sharpen down his teeth. So I think that was the reference there. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there. I wrote that down, and I forgot about it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.